Play NYC 2021, New York City, back live in person. I wanted to do this review in New York City, but unfortunately I couldn't. Right off, 19 was the first time I covered Play NYC and attended it. In 19, I still remember, you walked into the Metropolitan Pavilion, you walked into another reality, almost literally. I was there for the entire day, I think. This time didn't get there until roughly 3 o'clock. So, but still, between 3 and I think it was 5, roughly 5:30, somewhere there, I actually need to take a break. So I walked outside, smoked a quick cigarette, took the mask off, and again, they created a completely different reality in there. The closest I could think of is if you walk into a casino, no windows, no way to view the outside world. I walked outside after like 2.5 hours. I'm like, again, oh, there is a physical reality out here. There is a reality that exists outside of that. Amazing job right off. The variety of game developers, both game developers, exhibitors, perfect. Excellent job on that also. And by game developers, I'm not only talking about video, I'm talking about tabletop, cards. It's that type, physical games, not just the video. The variety in each one. Playcrafting, again, really wanted to appeal to the widest audience possible, and also showcase the widest variety in different genres, different styles, etc. of indie game developers as possible. And they pulled it off perfectly. It was everything from like first-person shooters to some developers who in games I really couldn't put into a genre. It's actually a day later. There was one called Dungeon. Kind of like classic, going back to the old Final Fantasy ones, like 1, 2, 3, the old Zelda style games. But it was a trip. I still remember playing, now I think about it, I still remember playing the demo of it, where just like the humor in it was so cool. The game concept was very original. There was a tabletop game which combined, if you're familiar with it, great. If you're not, look it up. The board game Clue with a horror movie. Great concept, very original. And another aspect that they did perfectly was, I remember Crystallo was one of the games that immediately comes to mind. Swim Sanity. A few more that I was like, scrolling down the list. I'm like, I remember that from 19. I remember that from 19. This is 2 years later. And I went up to the developers and said, you were here in 19, weren't you? Yeah, we were. Yep, that's where I was introduced to your game. Now here's the other thing that they did an excellent job on. Safety, especially with COVID. Number one, excuse me, masks were required. Not just like the bandana or something. You had to have a mask that was tight to your face. Thankfully I had one thanks to Illuminati here in Allentown. And you either had to be vaccinated with legitimate proof of vaccination, or you had to provide a negative COVID test within the past 48 hours. I walked up, as soon as I walked in, had my ID and had the vaccination card ready. Everyone inside was wearing masks all the time. I did not see a single person in there, and I walked the floor multiple times without a mask. So the safety of the guests, the exhibitors, and the staff Everyone there was their top priority. They had an after party, which I was able, thankfully with the buses, I was able to stick around for and catch the speakers and everything. Playcrafting, Dan Butchko, they really, it was like their way of saying, hey, thank you for being here. It was just the way they did it. This was true class style and true gratitude for everyone who attended this year. It made, not so much made the live version, the in-person version possible, but who said, you know what, we're getting back into things again. We're done. It's time. They had exhibitors. I know I spoke with one from LA. I had game designers and developers, one from Colorado, even came to New York City for this event. So this is nothing, this wasn't anything small. This is a major event. They had a representative from the Office of the Mayor in New York City and about how New York City supports the game development, supports indie media in general. How the Mayor's office supports the indie creators and indie creators in general. In all honesty, even if I wouldn't have received the press credentials, I would seriously, if it wouldn't have been for the $80 for the bus, I was going to go anyway. It was 30 on Saturday, 25 on Sunday. It would have easily been worth the money. Just to have a chance to speak with the game developers, play the different games and everything. Even if you're not into gaming, Play NYC is an excellent event to go to. Make sure, especially if it's in person, make sure it's on your list for next year. Go to New York City, wherever you live in the country or the world, I don't care. It's fun, it's great for kids and adults. Bring the family with you, seriously. They had security guards there. Weren't needed by a long shot, but I actually thanked one of the security guards for being there. They pulled off a truly unique event again. Despite what everyone's been doing the past 18 months. In spite of the constantly changing rules that are still in flux on a daily basis again, they pulled it off in a unique, safe, and wickedly cool way. Next year, hopefully, ValeCity will have the money to become a sponsor of it, because this is one of those rare events that I want the media involved in. I want ValeCity involved in. Play NYC, check it out, what it was like this year. Make the plans for next year, seriously. Take care, everybody. Stay safe. Enjoy life. Michael Phoenix, founder and staff.